What is going on, guys? It is the Film Physician, and I am just pumped for this video. Why? Well, if you check the Battalion Wars 3 video, it's all the way up to 200 views. My first video to hit 200 views. It feels really good. This was also a landmark. It was also the first video to reach 100 views a while back, and now it's already skyrocketed up to 200 views. Holy crap. I just thank you to all of you who watched it, left a like or commented. You guys are great, and thank you for getting me to 200 views on one of those videos. So I thought, since we made it to 200 views on that video, we would do another Battalion Wars video. In today's video, we're going to be counting down the top 5 Battalion Wars 2 campaigns. Keep in mind that there's only 5 campaigns in the game. Coming in at number 5, we have the Solar Empire campaign, which is the first campaign that you play in the game. Now, yes, this does have the most missions out of any campaign, 5. But I gotta say, I don't even think we can count the first 2 missions. The first 2 missions are plagued with controller interruptions, where they have to come in and tell you how to play the game and make sure, give you tutorials and stuff. You don't really get to use any fun units. You know, you have to use the anti-air vehicle for the first 2 missions, which is not something fun to use as your only vehicle. They're just 2 very slow and uninteresting missions where you don't really get to do a lot, and it feels like the game is holding your hand through the first 2 missions. And I really don't like the first 2 missions, so that's one of the reasons why it ends up at only number 5 at the bottom of the list. The other 3 missions are actually a lot better. I do have to say the third mission is cool with how you have, the 2 light tanks and the grunts, and then you get the bazooka veterans and assault veterans. You have to fight your way to the palace and then defend it. I thought that one was a cooler mission. Definitely an improvement from the first 2. The 4th mission was also kind of cool, where you have this nighttime operation where you have to rescue the munitions expert. You have to take him around on the recon for a ride to destroy some missile silos. I thought that was cool. I thought it was a little stupid that the Anglo Isles wouldn't defend their missile silos a little more, but I was okay with it. Then you have the 3rd mission, which is also, pretty cool. You go from naval to land units, where you start out with battleships and frigates, and you have to, take out, defenses on some islands, and you have to watch out for bombers. Then you have to guide these Western frontier troops to a helipad, which I think is a really interesting section of game. And then once you do that, you get your own battalion mixed with Herman's grunts, and you have to go and storm the airbase and recapture it. I honestly think that the last 3 missions are very cool in this campaign. However, this campaign in almost all other aspects is not that good. Okay, first off, you don't get to use the heavy tank, you don't get to use the artillery unit. Besides using it for that one section in the 4th mission, you don't get to use the recon ever in your battalion. Not to mention that you don't get to use the anti-air veteran, nor do you get to use the mortar veteran. You don't get to use the fighter, you don't get to use the gunship. I mean, you get to use no air units at all. And in the naval units, you do get to use majority of the things, but you don't get to use the dreadnought, which is understandable, but you also don't get to use the submarine. It's a very basic first campaign where there's just not a lot going on, and for that it has to go low because you use the same units over and over. I can't tell you how many times during this campaign that you're going to use the light tank and the anti-air vehicle over and over and over and over and over again. It's just it gets very repetitive after a while, and so for that, the Solar Empire campaign, also because it has really no open world missions, I shouldn't say open world, but more open missions where you have more choices, and it's not like point A and point B. You need to get from point A to point B, and like how you get there is up to you and what you decide to go after. That's what I consider like in more open missions. You have no open missions; they're all linear. So I like it, but sadly, this campaign has to come in at number 5. Coming in at number 4, and a very respectable number 4, we have the Anglo Isles campaign. Now, this campaign I thought was really cool. It really shifts away the focus from land units to naval and air units in this campaign. You have so many missions where you're using either fighters or naval units or bombers. It's just a really different campaign. In the first mission, you have to, instead of using an anti-air vehicle or anti-air veterans to shoot down enemy air units, you instead have to use fighters. That's the only thing you get. And while I do think this is stupid because you don't get to use the anti-air veteran at any time, for the most part, in 2 of the missions, you have to use instead the fighter to take down enemy air units. You also get to use the frigates to take them down. Also, you get to use battleships twice in this campaign, which I think is really cool. It really was a big change from the second campaign, which was the Western Frontier. With the Western Frontier one, you had no naval units, you had only air and land, and this time it was more based around, you had the most variety. You had land units, air units, and naval units. So you just kind of got, like, the total package. You got everything, and I really liked that about, this campaign. You got everything put into it. And the first mission I think is really cool. I thought it was a nice, tough mission for the player. It took me a long time to figure out how to finish that mission. I like how you have the option where there's 2 paths after you capture the airbase, and both lead to different, I think, POW camps, I want to say. It might be helipad. No, I'm pretty sure it's POW camps. 2 POW camps, and you can decide to liberate both of them, or none of them, or one or the other. I think that's really cool. I also like how at the end you have to destroy those, big topsy-turvy round top things. Sea fort? Yeah, sea forts. You have to destroy the sea forts, and you have the fighters and battleships to take care of that. You can use the fighters and take out the gunships while your battleships take care of the sea fort, or you can use the battleship to take out the sea fort and order the fighters to protect you. I mean, it's just a really cool last section. Then you have the second mission, which is all based on naval, where you have to go and do all sorts of stuff. You get to use all the naval units. The submarine, check. The battleship, check. The frigate, check. The naval transport, check. You land some troops and you're able to capture the HQ. It's just a really cool, fun little mission to do. Strictly based on naval. And then on the third mission, I honestly think that this mission is one of the better ones on the whole game, except for the ending. The mission starts out really well. You have 2 areas to go. You can go and liberate a heavy tank, which is heavier defended, but I'll be honest, the second heavy tank is pretty badass. Or you can go right and you can get the bazooka veterans, which are way less defended. However, bazooka veterans are not as good as another heavy tank. And then once you do that, you destroy a radar array. But the last part of this mission is a little bad. You have to go and you have to protect the Winslow Memorial, which is just kind of dumb. I mean, it's a little cringy. I understand they're trying to be a little, different and try to be zany a little bit, but I just felt like it was a kind of a little bit too much of a cringe moment. The bomber section is fun, where you have to destroy the Tundran battleships. You have to destroy artillery units and a bunch of land units. I think that's cool, but I just don't like how in this campaign that this campaign's third mission, how you have that, like, the final objective, that's what you have to do. You have to defend a monument. It's just like, come on, that doesn't really matter. Just destroy the Dreadnought and you're fine. But the last mission makes up for anything bad in the previous missions. You start out, you have to defend an airbase, and you have an open mission. There's like 2 helipads and a POW camp, and then you're not forced to capture any of them. The only thing you're told to do is you need to capture the other airbase, and you can pick and choose whether or not you liberate one POW camp or the other. It takes a lot of strategy gameplay of where you go and what you do and how you tackle things and what you're willing to risk and stuff, and I really like that. So the fourth mission is by far the best one. The first mission is also really good. The second and third are alright as well. The only reason why it doesn't get higher is because you reuse the light tank quite a bit, almost to the point where it's of insanity, like with the first campaign. And also some of the objectives are kind of dumb, with like save the Winslow Memorial is just kind of dumb. But other than that, cool campaign, and it comes in at number 4. Coming in at number 3, we have the Western Frontier campaign, and I have to say, if this campaign had 2 more missions, it'd be the best. The Western Frontier campaign is really cool, man. It's a very good all-around campaign. First off, you get to use the artillery units, which is something you didn't get to use in the previous campaign, and you also get to use heavy tanks, another thing you didn't get to use in the previous campaign. I love how cool it is that they introduce the facilities and the ideas of whether or not to capture a facility in a mission, which I think is really cool. Like in this game or this campaign, you have like I think a total of facilities you have to capture, or you have to or can capture. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total facilities that you have the option to capture. I think the only two of them are ones that are maybe like tied to the mission that you have to complete to finish the mission. So that would still be a little 7, but still 7 is a big number. Really great job in this campaign, exemplifying the great innovation to Battalion Wars 2, which was the facility respawn points. I thought that was really cool, and that's where this one really shines. The reason why it can't get any higher, even despite that great third mission, which is a very open mission where there's like 4 facilities, and like you have to choose which facility you want to go after in what order, and you have to make sure you're prepared for that final, attack on the Tundran HQ, and how chaotic it is at the end. Really great third mission, but the first 2 missions are a little lacking. The first mission had the chance to be a bit more open with the facilities being the main thing you have to get in this mission. However, instead it's pretty linear, and I think artillery was a terrible choice for this first mission to give you. They should have given you the Western Frontier light tank. Instead, they give you recon, which is cool, but they also give you artillery units, which doesn't really belong in this first mission. Light tank would have been a much better choice, and a little bit more open of a mission would have been nicer in the first mission. Not to mention the second mission is pretty linear as well. I think artillery makes a lot more sense in this mission, especially with sinking the frigates. I think that makes sense. I do also like how you have that rockfall area where it's like a hidden POW. I didn't know that there was Exylvanians with a POW camp back there for the longest time. I thought that was cool. But the problem with this campaign is that the first 2 missions are way too linear, and you use the artillery in back-to-back missions, which is not cool in my opinion. But even so, great campaign, and comes in at number 3. Coming in at number 2 is another flashback campaign. We have the Iron Legion campaign, and I have to say that this campaign was balls to the wall. I mean, there was so much going on in it. I mean, you had, so many units were given to you when you were asked to complete a certain goal. Like in the first mission, you get so many units. You get like a battle station, anti-air veterans, assault veterans. You also get got like 4 gunships. I mean, just so many units to complete a given mission. The enemy gets more units in their favor, but you also get more units and more stuff to take care of the mission. For example, I think it's so cool in the second mission where you have like, you start out with mortar veterans, bazooka veterans, and a heavy tank, which is just so much anti-armor stuff. Like any armored vehicle you come across, it's just so fun to order your whole battalion to just attack it, and it just like blows up in an instant. It's just so much fun. They have heavy tank after heavy tank come at you, and if you play it correctly, it's so fun, especially in this first part, how you have to rush to the siege guns and you get to pick a path. One is a vehicle path and one is an infantry path. I always pick the vehicle path because it's so fun to blow up the vehicles in this opening section. Defending the siege guns is just so cool. You have all of these heavy tanks and light tanks coming out of nowhere, like a huge line of them trying to destroy these siege guns, and you have to place your troops, and you have this all-out attack where you're favored to lose. And I like how stressful and fun this siege gun defense thing is. And then you get a barracks, and then you capture a POW, you liberate that, and you have to defend the mining saws. I just think it's so cool. You get like 3 heavy tanks, motor veterans, grunts, bazooka veterans, anti-air veterans, flame vets. I mean, it's just like almost everything. So much units, so many, and it's just so cool. And then the final mission, you get to have artillery units, and you have this like the Solar Empire using these guerrilla tactics with their light tanks. Like you only have mortar veterans to take out the light tanks, so you have to use them and be ready for when the light tanks of the Solar Empire pop out of nowhere and ambush you. You have to be ready with your mortar veterans if you want to have any chance of destroying them. I mean, I just think that's just super cool. I love how each mission has its own set this style and feel to it. I love how in the first mission you have to the Solar Empire tries so desperately to destroy the battle station, but they fail, and then it just wreaks havoc on everything. And I love how the first mission is like kind of an open world, more open mission where you can go left or right for the POW camps and left and right to get to the solar panels. I think that's cool. And the biggest thing of all, I think, that elevates it to number 2 status is the fact that you get to use every unit in the Iron Legion's sandbox. You get to use all the infantry, you get to use 3 different vehicles for 3 different missions, and you also get to use the 3 air units, which is the bomber, the fighter, and the gunship. Really, really cool, and Iron Legion comes in at number 2. And coming in at number 1 spot, oh baby, what is the best campaign in Battalion Wars 2? Well, it's got to be the last campaign, the Tundran Territories campaign. Oh my goodness, what a great campaign this was. First off, at this point, you as the player know everything. There's no more, like tutorials stopping you in the middle of the game to tell you how to press the A button or how to lock on or whatever, telling you stupid stuff like that. Nah, man, you know everything at this point. You just get such a great campaign to finish it off. Let me start. I love the feel of this campaign. You have these Tundran Territory guys who are like Russians facing off against these Exylvanians, which are like World War II Germany, and you got this great World War II feel to you. You actually feel like something's at stake in this campaign. Like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, and I love that. It's intense. It makes you feel, feel stuff when you lose. Like, for example, when you lose in the 3rd mission of the Anglo Isles campaign, and it's like, oh, well, now you won't be able to save the Winslow Monument. It's like, okay, who cares? Or like if like you lose in the Solar Empire campaign, it's like, okay, well then the Solar Empire gets invaded, and then they figure out that they don't have any super weapon. It's just like, why should I care? But this one, you actually feel like everything's on your shoulders. Like the fate of the world is on your shoulders, and you gotta win. I feel like it has a great feel of like the first mission. Like reminds me of like Stalingrad, where it's like you have to defend the capital, and once you defend the capital, then you have to go through and you have to fight the Exylvanians all the way back, and you eventually win. Which Exylvania is of course representing Germany. I love how in the first mission, how it's very open, where you have a lot of choices you can make. It's, there's no one way you can approach it, one way to always approach it. There's like many ways. There's a trap. If you go to the left side, you get the mines on the way to private hazard. Then you have the air base path, or you have the bazooka veterans and factory path you can pick. I like how it's very open. You can choose what to do. There's a helipad you can choose to activate, and there's also some Western Frontier troops you can help out. Really, really cool. And I love how the 1st and 3rd mission also as well are open world, are much more open missions where you can decide how you approach the mission. The 3rd one especially, you have like 4 anti-air towers. You have like 2 POW camps, if I remember correctly, 2 POW camps, and you have to decide on how you're going to take care of that. You know what I mean? And it takes some real strategy. It's really cool. And then you have to destroy the Ice Station X. It's really cool. Way to end that mission. I also love in the 2nd mission, you have this like rainy, sea town that you're going through, which is called Novigrad, and it's got this really dystopian feel to it, where you have these like Exylvanian submarines and gunships sneaking up on you at every turn. Then when you land the troops, you have to take this tractor tank, which looks so amazing, and you have to go through, and once again, just like the 3rd mission in the Iron Legion campaign, you have like these Exylvanian acid gats and gunships using these guerrilla tactics where they jump out at you, and you have to go through this burning village where like the other guy, Kaiser Vlad, is taunting you about how they've destroyed everything and there's nothing left, and you have to go through and snuff out all the Exylvanian units, and I love it. It just got such a great vibe and feel to it. I'm willing to excuse the fact that it is pretty linear of a mission, because of how great the setting and theme of it is. And then you have the final mission, by far the most original mission that Battalion Wars has ever done. Instead of playing as just one faction, you get to play as all the factions, and each faction, for the most part, contributes a unit that they're known for. The Western Frontier contributes to heavy tanks, which is that if you played, and maybe not in Battalion Wars 1 wasn't the signature for the Western Frontier, but in Battalion Wars 2 it's clear that the signature for the Western Frontier is the heavy tank, as it's on the front cover, and you also get to use it in the third mission, which is by far the best mission in the game. Not to mention, and then the Solar Empire, they had 3 anti-air vehicles, missions in their campaigns. The Solar Empire gives the anti-air vehicle, something that they're known for, which is really cool. Then the Anglo Isles give fighters, which is something they were known for in their campaign. They had 2 missions that had fighters in it, so that's what they contribute. And then then you got the Tundrans, who contribute their gunships, which is what they're known for. You also get the cool Tundran battle station to use, and some anti-air veterans. I mean, it's just really cool. And then you have to go through, and the mission is tough, man. Although it's linear, it's tough. You have gunships, fighters to deal with, strato destroyers, heavy tanks. You also have battle stations. I mean, it's just a really tense mission. And that final area where you have to destroy the mining spider, it's so intense, man. You have bombs dropping from the sky from the strato destroyers. You have your fighters trying to give you air cover with your anti-air vehicle and anti-air veterans trying to shoot down the enemy fighters. You have your heavy tank and gunships trying to take out enemy heavy tanks and battle stations, trying to destroy your battle station. Your battle station is lobbing all of its shots at this mine spider, which is just like rapid firing laser shots all over the place. I mean, it's just so intense, and such a great ending to Battalion Wars 2. And by far, Tundran Territory Campaign has to come in at number 1. So thanks, guys. That's the video. I had a really fun time making this video. It was really cool to make. If you like this video and you want to see more Battalion Wars videos, please like and subscribe, man. If you guys like and subscribe and you get other people to view my videos and the view count goes up, I will definitely, that helps me to know which videos that you like, more than the others, you know what I mean? So that I can make those more frequently for you guys. So if you like this video and you want to keep seeing Battalion Wars videos, please let me know in the comments, and please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you once again for getting the Battalion Wars 3 video all the way up to 200 views. That really was a great milestone for me to hit, and I couldn't have done it without you guys. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.